just had this idea.
We're in the pre-show.
This is not. We're in the pre-show.
Now we are.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So don't say anything crazy. Oh God.
Look at that. Look at that. Get it.
Incredible. What were you gonna say?
I feel like a fun idea for like a future thing would be or maybe not, maybe this is too much, but like what it would be cool if we did like a custom controller that the winner won, and it engraved on it said like, 2024 fantasy winner. You mean like our episode 150 controller that we did? And then if 3 years down the line somebody's got like 3 or 4 right? Okay, so it wasn't
great idea.
I was thinking it was stupid, but then I was all right.
Might be onto something.
Hell yeah.
What is that? Why has he got a moldy sponge that he's saving for?
It's so...
Oh, okay, you're currently washing it. I thought that was a bag that you pulled it out like a Ziploc. What the fuck is going on?
If only Sony did custom controllers, then people could choose what kind of controller they want. But
shame.
Although everybody here has a PC, so the Xbox One would theoretically
work. It would still work, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Remember that time on episode 150's giveaway, the person who signed up and won was at this strange warehouse address, and I was like, nope, I'm not shipping it there.
I do remember that.
I wonder what the plan was there. This person was obviously some sort of scammer, but it's like, are you planning on fetching a pretty penny for this PXN branded Xbox control? Like, what was? I don't know what the plan was there.
I'm not sure they knew. Hell yeah. I got our special scene ready to go while we were chatting, so... I gotta be honest, some of Christian's rules that he was going over, I was putting together this scene, and I was just saying yes, because it doesn't fucking matter, guys. I'm gonna win the third straight year in a row anyways.
It doesn't matter.
See, you weren't listening to Christian's rules because you thought that, it doesn't apply to me, I'm going to win. I wasn't listening to Christian's rules because I was like Homer Simpson in the movie where Marge is trying to talk to him and it's the monkey banging cymbals in his head.
Didn't you do that last year and then you fucking wasted all your money?
I try to listen. I do. You don't understand, all right? It's a medical condition.
God. Incredible.
I'm going to say it. Gage's idea was so good, I think we pivot our original winner gets to whatever Gage said.
I would be down. We would all pitch in a little bit more than the original 20. So everybody has to agree to that.
Who cares? Like having a tangible thing is like.
I think that would be cool.
That's cool,
right? If somebody ends up winning, like you can have them all lined up. Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I could have my 2024, 2025, 2020.
Goodness gracious!
Wait, hold on. Let me open up Design Lab. I want to see what the character limit is on the engraving, because that's kind of the whole thing. Designated survivor, no Design Lab.
Designated survivor.
Oh my God, Christian! I watched the first season of True Detective for the first time.
One of the best seasons of TV ever made. I'm so excited for the new.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Do I need to watch? Because I've heard things, but I don't. I can just go 1 and 4.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm so excited for the new season.
I might check out 2 just for Colin Farrell and Vince Vaughn because I just happen to like them, but I'm gonna keep my expectations in check for sure.
Fuck, man, that season is so good. I think
Dude,
about it.
What
like,
an incredible first season. Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. My God. Okay.
Let's take a ride.
One of these Design Lab things.
On out.
Design yours.
Create a controller. It's gonna blow your mind.
Text.
You just think about it.
Up to 16 characters. What can we make this?
Sorry, that's my terrible Matthew McConaughey impression. What was the for?
I'm just trying to see how we could word this because there's a character limit on the engraving. So I'm trying to see how we could word it so that it's
What's the limit?
16 characters. It's a little.
I have right now PXN 2024 Fantasy.
Mm.
I would love to write the word winner in there, but
PXN 2024 Fantasy.
what is this called? Fantasy Critic Games?
Yeah, I think so.
Fantasy Critic. Is it fantasy? Isn't there a league in there somewhere?
I think it's just
Fantasy Critic Games.
Yeah.
Ah, the space. I had PXN FCG winner, but then you can't do the year after that.
Yeah, and I have 2024 FCG winner, but no PXN. This could work though. We could get something to work.
Yeah.
You could do. You don't have to do 2024. You could do like hyphen 24 or hyphen
Right.
Yeah.
25.
Apostrophe 24.
Apostrophe, right? Yeah. Hyphen. Yeah. I don't know if how much space that would give you though.
I don't know. Well, I'm sure we can figure something out.
For sure.
You could do champ instead of winner, or like. I don't know.
I wrote down first, number 1, ST. But there's not enough room for place or PL.
Everyone take note if we remember all these ideas we're throwing out on this episode right now. A year from now when we're figuring out what we're putting on the
We'll just put it in the document.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I was just being an antagonist.
Just being Dan.
Man.
Okay, let me get the document. PXN doc, I mean.
The PXN document. Are we ready, everyone in chat?
Chat's ready.
Are you guys ready is the question. The chat's been... Wait, how is Christian even hearing us right now? I'm just realizing this. Where's your headphones?
I have you guys through my speakers right now.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck?
Can you guys hear the speakers? Like, can you guys
No,
hear
not at
yourself?
all. How does that work? Is the Elgato? Is that a dynamic mic? Is that what that is?
It will pull stuff out because mine as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I also have plugins running, and then there's the Discord crisper thing, that noise reduction.
That too. Yeah, I'm using the built-in effects, and it seems to pull out all of my clicks on my keyboard and all of that kind of stuff. So
Interesting.
it is nice.
And Google Drive is fucking up my PC right now.
Google Drive working overdrive. All right. Are you guys ready? Or you need another minute? 2, 3, 4?
I'm ready.
I'm ready as well, yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast.
Delivering.
I'm still getting used to OBS.
You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast.
Delivering player experience news.
Let's go!
What's up, guys, and welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 225. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire, Roshan Warner at Rora.
We're coming for you, Dan.
Oh shit!
Can't run forever.
That's scary. I'm
Lower
actually
your trophy
Oh.
for the next year, but soon it'll be one of ours.
I'm still
Yes.
waiting for my 2022 and 2023 trophies. So you know.
The trophies are unfortunately every single Wednesday, and it's bragging rights.
Oh, that's fair.
True.
You guys get to endure it every single week. And
Yes,
that
we do.
is that is the host of Large Popcorn and video producer at Dual Shockers, Christian Macias at ISO Christian _ISO Christian. I always forget that.
This year may be the most competitive Fantasy Critic games draft that we'll ever do. I'm calling it.
We'll see about that one. And the DMZ daddy, the Tarkov Teletubby himself, Gage Dempster at Gilbo Biggins. I forgot you're not the Tarkov Teletubby anymore, but you know,
Former Tarkov
the
Teletubby.
former. Okay.
Hey.
I've traded in my arms.
Did you see the video I sent you though on Twitter? The
I
Jack
did,
Frags vid?
but I did, but I'm over the
Okay.
gameplay loop. It's too much.
All
It's
right.
too rage-inducing. I don't have time for this. I already rage-induced all the time. I need my video games to not be that. But I'm playing Elden Ring, so am I really even doing that? I don't know. Who cares?
Hell yeah.
The tarnished Teletubby. Is that what we did? Is that
Yep.
it? What was it?
Tarnished
Yeah.
Teletubby.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Incredible. Thank you to everyone who is watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, guys, is our fantasy draft for 2024. We're going to draft some games, see who wins. But first, the show always starts with the quick bites, so let's go ahead and jump right in. The first item on our quick bites, guys, is, of course, one of Dan's specialties. Normally, this is the FU segment. I'm going to retire the FU segment. I need to, not go down that route anymore. But let's go down the route of what the fuck is this person doing in fucking Jesus Christ? So a Sky News anchor, I'm not going to say who it is. I don't even know who it is. I don't care who it is.
Right.
Has posted a news report essentially that was laughing at a kid who had dedicated a Tetris run, the furthest Tetris run that had ever been done before. He dedicated it to his father who passed away from cancer. And the demonic behavior of this fucking anchor to laugh and say the kid needs to go outside or whatever the fuck she said. Go fuck yourself. Sorry, I knew this wasn't going to be a fuck you segment, but there it is.
But it always.
And I love this for you. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think she's. I remember. Well, I have it pulled up now, so I can literally say what she said. She was like, "Tetris isn't a life goal," which okay, but she was like, she did literally laugh at him, which is really sad, especially with the added context of it being dedicated to his dead father. Like, just give the guy a win because it is like a pretty cool achievement. Like he literally beat a game that until now I thought was unbeatable, and he completely reached the quote unquote end of that, which is insane to me.
Yes, very much insane.
I
Props
mean,
to
it
you.
goes to show that no matter like what year it is, there's still like some kind of what is the word I'm looking for?
Stigma.
Thank you. Yeah. Around even being near a video game, which is like insane when you have like you just had like HBO, The Last of Us come out and like one of the most awarded shows for the first time since it won a lot of awards. And that's a video game adaptation. Like why are games still seen in this way?
Well, she goes home and she throws on the TV too, and it's like, okay, what kind of game are we playing here? Like, watching TV and watching movies is fine, but suddenly you put a controller in your hand and now it's, oh, don't do that, that's bad for you. Like, come on. Everything in moderation, it's fine.
It's so funny when you have like a lot of like Congress people as well frequently try to like bring in the old argument that like violent video games cause XYZ. But like, come on, most Americans or like North Americans are going home and watching shows like, previously like The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones. It's like there's like numerous violence in that and like other acts of like SA violence, etc. And like no one is going out and doing those things. Why is the correlation only games and not like other stuff like movies or TV?
Right. Yeah, there's two comebacks to that I really like. The first one, well, the first thing is like, okay, if by that logic, the amount of copies sold that GTA 5 sold should America should be a wasteland right now. If that's how that works. And then the second comeback that I always love is when people say that video games cause violence. It's like, what video games were we playing in the 1500s again? What video games were we playing in the 1200s? What video games were we playing in the, come on.
Indeed. All great points. Thank you all for joining me for this Dan special. I don't know. Fuck.
I love Dan's FU special. I'm a fan.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. The next quick bite. The far too often video game related job loss corner is here. I know I keep coming up with these segments, and this is not a good segment to be covering, but here we are. Unity has announced a 25% reduction of its staff, consisting of about 1,800 people losing their jobs. Of course, Mr. Riccatello got his ass out of there and fucking took all of his stocks out with him. Fucking just screwed the company over. But, now they're 25% smaller, which is sad. Very sad. And the other one, and then we can yell at these companies. The other one is Twitch, and of course it's owned by Amazon. Let's make sure we note that. Announces over 500 employees have been let go in a third round of cuts, which is 35% of Twitch's people that work there. So awful.
I will also throw in the same week, SAG-AFTRA signed an agreement to allow devs to use AI voices in games, which will probably lead to less employment in the games industry. So not only are things worse, we're already, I think I saw a tweet that's like, we're 25%, or like a quarter of 2023's layoffs, like the amount has already, sorry, let me back up. We are at a quarter of the total amount of layoffs from the video games industry that happened in 2023, only 9 days into 2024.
That is insane. I would like to point out that the SAG-AFTRA thing is totally a symptom of people outside of the video game industry not knowing that the video games industry is a serious, this just reeks of them not taking it seriously and thinking AI and video games, oh yeah, AI will be good tech for video games, so let's just, no, it's the same exact concept that you guys were fighting for and striking for. Yeah, I saw that story. It pisses me off.
I'm so mad. And not that we expected it to be good, but the examples of the replica AI voices are so shit. I don't understand how anybody listens to that and is like, yeah, we should use that in video games. Yeah, that sounds great, especially against the actual talented voice actors that do exist that you're just trying to replace for no reason, besides saving money, I guess. But yeah, it's like, yeah, that story really pissed me off too.
Yep. Lots of up-and-coming voice actors would probably like to get their start on this. That's what I was thinking. Dan and I were talking about this the other day with the finals, where I'm like, it's such a sore spot on this game, on this really great game. Why couldn't they just hire two people? And we started talking about it back and forth, but it's like, surely there's got to be somebody that one of these devs know that's trying to make their break, and you couldn't just have, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these AI jobs you could just give to somebody who's looking to get their start.
And even, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was going to say, even non-voice actors like the Senua Saga
Right.
Now has a role in that game, and she did fantastic. So I've heard. I haven't played the game, but from what I've seen from trailers and gameplay, she did good.
She did really
but it's
good.
Just you don't even have to be like a voice actor. Just replace these people with other people and not robots and machines and stuff like that. It's just not good.
And to your point, Ro, I have never heard an AI voice that's better than a normal person's voice. Why would you choose that?
And if it is good, it's not because the AI is good, it's because what they were stealing from was good.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's not the machine that's good ever.
Right.
It's what they're taking from that was good.
I wanted to include Rose's anecdote about Senua is good. Zagreus, main character of Hades, he's also an internal dev. I think he's like a writer or designer or something.
That's crazy.
seriously?
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, that came from
good.
internal.
That's
as well.
wild.
Mhm.
And also goes to prove our point like immediately.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like non-trained voice actors are still better than robots trained by trained voice actors, you know? Like
Right,
that is crazy.
The thing that frustrates me with this conversation is that it's always framed when people are like defending the AI. It's like, oh well, not all of us devs can afford it because what are we gonna do? Have Troy Baker? It's like it's not Troy Baker or AI. Like there are all these different options, like we just said.
That's
Where
the
it's
only
like-
two options.
Yeah, you don't have to get this really well established VA that's gonna charge X amount. Like you can get these people that that blows my mind that Zagreus was voiced by a dev. But again, tons of options.
The correction is that he's an audio director, but still, he's the composer for Bastion, Transistor, Pyre, and Hades 2.
All right. Well, hire real people. That's the
Unplug all the servers. Storm the server farms. Unplug everything.
Maybe not the servers. We need
Do
Discord.
it on January 6th.
No,
Yeah.
now is the time for action, Dan.
We need
can
Discord.
We can think about our actions later. Now it's time for action.
All right. Moving on. The MSI Claw PC gaming handheld has been revealed. Gage is putting his hand up like he's excited. I don't know. It's official.
Iron Claw.
Iron Claw.
Oh.
The Iron Claw.
Got it. Okay. It's powered by Intel's Meteor Lake chips and Windows 11. It has a 7-inch 120 hertz LCD 1080p display with 16 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage. They plan to ship 3 different models ranging from $699 to $799 when it arrives in the first half of the year. The base tier will ship with a Core Ultra 5 and 512 gigs of storage. So another option out there for the PC handheld.
I would definitely
people.
caution anyone who may or may not be watching this that might be thinking about this. Wait for reviews. Intel has not established themselves. Like AMD has already kind of proven themselves with doing really great SoCs and being able to cram a competent graphics processing unit and a competent CPU unit all together in one small form factor. Intel has not proven that they can do that yet. So this might be one of those things that the performance might be a bit different than the other ones that we've seen. So I think this is one that we should wait and see what's going on here.
Indeed. I did
This
miss...
is like for real, like the next big trend, though. Yeah, next big trend of like mobile PC gaming. I'm here for it.
I want to be here for it. I think what we need to see and what I'm waiting for Steam to do, hopefully, and they do it really well, is there needs to be a competent docking system where you can put these things. They run 1080, they run 120 hertz. That's all well and good, but if you plug it into your 65-inch 4K TV, they're not going to look good. So I'm really hoping that Valve with the next Steam Deck has a dock system that actually provides extra horsepower, so that you can have the option to put these things and really make them a console PC unit type thing.
I did miss a YouTube chat on the last subject here. Natalie says robots will never defeat the authenticity that comes from a real person, and I see Christian smiling, and I think I know why. Thank you.
Well
Natalie.
said, Natalie.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
I think so. Yeah.
We all know why.
Moving on. Our next quick bite is more PC news, which is NVIDIA has announced new RTX 4000 Super cards, and we are getting a 4080 Super $999, 4070 Ti Super for $799, 4070 Super for $599, and 4070 drops to $549. So actually the prices, I think they said, are all, they're either more performance or the same performance at lower price points. So, or same or
Yes.
lower price points. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
Dan and I were discussing back and forth what we thought the tease was. Dan was right. Super Series cards. The 4080 Super is definitely tempting for me. I'm looking for an upgrade soon, and yeah, $200 cheaper than the 4080 with more VRAM, more performance. Although it should be noted that all of these cards are still way over the amount that they should be. Everything is still super inflated, but definitely a better option than getting the standard 4000 series. Also, can we talk about how ridiculous it is to have a 4070 Ti Super?
Mm.
We're gonna have two. We're gonna have two subtitles on the card now. This is the world that we live in.
God of
I
War
guess.
Ragnarok, Valhalla.
Well, even funnier, is it the 4070 that used to be the third 4080? Like there was 3 variants originally? I don't know, something weird like that.
They're getting crazy. They're getting
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Bro, let's buy one of these to make our indie games look
Nice.
the same.
I'm down. I'm down.
Something else that's crazy. Hogwarts Legacy has sold 22 million copies in 2023, announced by Warner Brothers. Obviously, we've had our many discussions about this game for every reason that someone may or may not want this game. And it is important to note that, of course, because some people do not want to support the writer of Harry Potter, which is important to note. I forget her name. Gonna keep rambling because I forget her
Don't
name.
even say her name, Daniel.
Okay.
Don't even mention her name.
Yes. But anyways, it is very impressive that Hogwarts Legacy has sold 22 million copies, and now Warner Brothers
That is insane.
is saying
Somebody put it in context that that's Elden Ring numbers, and when they said
That
that,
is
I was like, oh yeah,
Oh
that's
wow.
it's kind of big.
and now Warner
And
wants to
again,
make
like
a million games.
I like to focus on I mean, we all like with everything we said about the Game Awards and all this stuff. It's like a lot of devs made this game, and the one person that everybody has a problem with didn't make this game. This was their first AAA game. I think they deserve a lot more kudos than they've been getting, unfortunately. So, but this is awesome. 22 million copies, first time AAA game. Pretty big stuff. Good for them, in my opinion.
Indeed. I'll leave this to your imagination, podcast listeners, but I will not read that comment that may or may not incite murder.
What?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, just leave that to your imagination.
Oh God.
Is that a Natalie comment?
No. We don't.
Okay.
We're moving on. Next quick.
Okay.
Oh Jesus. Christ.
But people can read it. Moving on, writing on Prime Video, has started the God of War series. And also Netflix's Horizon Zero Dawn has also started. Christian's got something added here, I think. Christian, write this. Gravity Rush or Row. Maybe Row.
I did not add that. No.
I added that.
Okay, Row.
Yeah.
I missed that part, so I apologize. But Gravity Rush also has a little clip here. And what the fuck is going on? I missed this.
Yeah, so for those, I'm sure everybody knows here, but Gravity Rush was a Studio Japan game, came out on the PS Vita, re-released on PS4, had a sequel, really good. People love it, cult following, all that stuff. And now they're making a movie out of it after shutting down the studio that made it. So people are a little bit confused, but happy that they're bringing it back. And it doesn't look super great. Obviously, it's early stuff, so it probably will look better than what we saw here. But I also included a clip of what we have had and what I think fans would want from the animation. So yeah, there's that too. We kind of want an anime style because the game is an anime style video game. But as usual with these adaptations, they kind of always do live action or
Why, man?
I don't know.
I feel like a lot of these adaptations, like of AAA games, are like kind of tainted by like executive touch. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can't help but think about the Uncharted movie, the Sony Uncharted movie, like because Tom Holland was like a prominent figure at that time, he is now the lead, and then Mark Wahlberg was Sully. Like that movie was, I mean, it's not good. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's passable, but like, why can't we just make cool things? When you have another Netflix adaptation of a video game, Castlevania, and you have another Netflix anime of a game adaptation, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which are both pretty critically lauded, why can't you keep making cool stuff like that? And to Rose's point, he linked something that was like, this is what we want. Here are like the overtures in game that look stunning. Why can't you do something like this? Why can't it be an anime movie? That probably would do better at the box office. Across the Spider-Verse, both animated movies, huge. I don't know, dude.
I mean, you hit it around the head. It's executive interference, but that video game adaptation or not, that's usually the problem with most movies. When a movie comes out and it's awful, it's because people that aren't creative, that don't know how to make creative things, but have the money and write the checks, they get to have their say. And this is not nowhere is this more clear than with the God of War adaptation, which is going to be an adaptation of God of War reboot instead of taking the opportunity to go back and have something that complements the game. Like, they're gonna have the first season of the show be the video game, which means they're gonna have to, like, why not just do his origin story? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense until you look at it in terms of the executive mind going, oh, this video game was really successful. Let's make a God of War TV show and it'll be exactly the video game that was successful. Therefore, the TV show will be successful. As opposed to the creative person would be like, we have this really grounded version of Kratos. Why don't we go back and make the original story grounded to match this? And then everything complements each other. Well, it's like, well, no, that's not what they're doing, unfortunately. So I do not have very much hope for the God of War series. But, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
What about Zero Dawn?
I don't want to talk about that.
Well, the fact
What
that
do you want us to say, Ro?
the fact that they're even calling the series Zero Dawn, it's like they're literally just making the first game. Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Yep.
But at least that's the first game. So if you're gonna start an adaptation, that's where you would start.
That's true.
To have the first God of War TV season take place with this character that's already gone through all these different things, and then you're gonna have to that doesn't make sense to me. But
don't worry, I have the answer for you. A Bill and Frank Last of Us spin-off series has been pitched to HBO. That'll solve everyone's problems.
What are they gonna do with that?
And that's not a joke. That's an actual thing that happened.
Again, the executive mind. We got one good thing. Let's milk it, milk it, milk it, milk it.
That's
Like,
wild.
Interesting.
We saw the start and end of their story in
What are
one
they gonna
episode.
do? Oh god.
okay, but you need to see what Bill was like before the apocalypse and what Frank was like before the apocalypse, which is them just doing regular things. That'll be exciting.
Well, the other thing is like they could have had a big opportunity to start with Bill and Frank led series and then do The Last of Us Part 1, because then the audience could have become attached to Bill and Frank, and then by the time you get to that episode, you have a moment where the audience can actually connect with Bill and Frank rather than just having one episode where they did fantastic work. You could have had, I don't know. You could add
I mean, it sounds better than whatever they're planning, at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We just need to turn on the flashlights and cover the darkness with light as Alan Wake is coming to Dead by Daylight as a survivor on January 30th.
Yay.
That segue was wild.
I thought it was good.
Shout out to Behavior Interactive. All right, they just keep on keeping on with Dead by Daylight, and you know what? It's a fun little game. I'm happy for them. I like these collaborations that they do. Everybody seems to dig it. There's no controversy. They're just doing their own thing. Everything's priced pretty fairly. Cool. This is cool.
Was this the same game that did the Nicolas Cage?
Yes,
one?
it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Not as the killer.
It's a total missed opportunity. Oh man.
Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Anyways, moving on. The next quick bite, I was gonna say something that only Christian and I would probably. Yeah. Yep. Rumors of both Hi-Fi Rush coming to Nintendo Switch and Sea of Thieves coming to PlayStation have bubbled up here, and we're starting to hear some more possible ideas that Microsoft has been exploring, bringing back some of its back catalog to other platforms, although some of the details remain vague and unconfirmed. This is from IGN I'm reading. So interesting, and a lot of discussion has been about whether or not this is a good or bad thing. Personally, I think this is a good thing. More players playing Sea of Thieves and more people playing Hi-Fi Rush, which is a great game, on Nintendo Switch specifically, because that type of game I think would do very well on Switch. I think this is great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in and say Ryan McCaffrey got a lot of hate on his comments on Twitter. From a lot of people being like, Xbox is doomed. But like, I don't know, man. When like The Last of Us came to PC for the first time, I was like, or Returnal even came to PC, I was like, hell yeah, PC players can now go play those games. They're sick. And like, it's kind of, I feel kind of the same way here. We're like, yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is cool. Now Switch players can play it, and I'm sure a lot of people would play that. And Sea of Thieves, yeah, that growing community, people love Sea of Thieves. That coming to another console, sure, why not? And I think Ryan also mentioned, like, again, the game Xbox is playing is like having people interact with their software on as many platforms as possible. Case in point, like here it is, like, and still, like, all their games come to PC anyway. This is where I play them.
Right.
This is probably like a net positive.
Absolutely.
People say that a lot, like, oh, Xbox is doomed because they're looking to branch out to other systems, and PlayStation, like you brought up, PlayStation has done it too with Returnal and stuff. And I just wonder, like, has there been ever any evidence of that being the case? Like, is there a situation where, oh, a game is coming to another platform, that means bad news? Like, has that ever happened before? Just people just saying that.
I don't
like,
think so. I think it's just people reaching. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Like,
think
if Xbox has a different strategy, that's something different because of how they are in the console space. That's I guess how they're going about business now. But I don't think that has anything to do with like how numbers are doing or how games or how successful a game has been, because they're trying to get more people to play it.
Yeah, I think, and also the context of the games themselves, it depends on every game. Like, you know, you're not going to see Halo come to PlayStation. Like, that's a game that you're going to try to sell PlayStation owners to buy an Xbox hardware or a piece of hardware with. But like a game like Sea of Thieves, where it's an ongoing game that has a community of people that love it, and you're just trying to spread, you know, more goodness, I guess, with that game, and it's a live service game, it makes a lot of sense to put it on PlayStation to try to get some eyeballs on it. And that game's like, what, fucking 7 or 8 years old? Like, maybe even older than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But what we do know is Xbox has announced a developer direct coming next week on January 18th, and it will include looks at Machine Games' Indiana Jones, Ninja Theory's Hellblade 2, Obsidian's Avowed, and Oxide's Ara History Untold. So we're going to get some looks there. First gameplay from Indiana Jones. Going to be interesting.
I mean, if we see gameplay, assuming we do, right?
I think they confirmed it. I believe Machine Games said we would see our first look at gameplay.
This is Xbox's second developer direct.
Yes. Yep. The last one was last year.
This is
January.
Like, I think of some of the Sony State of Plays that we get. Granted, we've gotten a lot more of them, and Xbox certainly has time to make some filler ones. But this is a pretty stacked list in terms of a small direct focused on only a few games. The fact that we're getting Obsidian's Avowed, Hellblade 2, and Indiana Jones all in one direct, it's pretty promising. So this will be. Did they say how long? I'm guessing this would be what, like 30, 40 minutes, something like that.
40 minutes. Yep.
Right. This is exciting. This is a good way to start.
Man, Xbox is doomed.
That's true. They're bringing their games to more platforms. Fuck, you're right, Rashad.
Dan, I don't see this one included, but like, having this be officially announced on top of like rumors, I think Jeff Grubb was talking about like a possible Switch one in February, and then I think he also mentioned like there might be 2 showcases for Sony this year, which would be huge. Having 2 of the what do you call it, like the tent pole shows, whatever, not state of play, but the showcases is big. But having a confirmed one from Xbox like right off the bat, like here's what you can expect from our platform this year and maybe into next is absolutely massive. When there is a lot of question marks about like what the slate of AAA gaming is going to look like fall and winter.
Right.
And I'm not expecting them to do what they did last year at the beginning of the year, but this is where we got Hi-Fi Rush and Shadow Drop and all that stuff
true.
last year, was it not?
Yes.
I'm not expecting that, but it is cool that that happened in the past. You know, like Indiana Jones is already like a big thing to look forward to, but they now have a pretty cool show with this
Right.
developer direct that Xbox fans could look forward to.
I'll tell you what it is, bro.
It's Silk Song.
It's Silk Song. Yeah. I do know.
Insider track right there.
That'd be cool.
You better draft it then.
Draft this.
Wow. Jeez. All right. Moving into the PXN news of the week. The first item, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Previews have come out. Christian, did you add this? I'm assuming the breaking news regarding.
I did add it, but somebody else linked it on Twitter. That shout out to whoever. Was that Gage? Was that Ro?
That was Ro.
That was Ro.
Going in clutch.
Gotcha. Thank you, Ro. Paul Tassi on Twitter. He says, incredible scene unfolding with Suicide Squad as the former Rocksteady developer, critical of the journalist previews and journalists that who did those previews, agree the NDA on the closed alpha should be lifted, where players played for far longer and had better impressions. Things going great, he adds himself. But yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting that he says that players had better impressions during that event.
He believes they had better
Oh,
impressions.
okay. Believes.
He didn't say that, but I feel like that's what he should have said because he's an NDA. How would you know that?
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, people broke it on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
I saw people break it on Twitter, like that whole weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. People love breaking those NDAs. Don't come after, people that don't break NDAs, Warner Brothers. Just go after the ones that do. Christian, you also posted this side by side, which I think we were talking about in our chat, of UI comparisons of Suicide Squad and seeing what that would look like if it was like that in one of your beloved games, Elden Ring, of course, right?
Dude, that meme like really hurt a lot of developers. I know they were going after Ubisoft, but I remember specifically like Horizon devs being like on Twitter being vocal about this. But lo and behold, I guess when did Elden Ring release? Was that 2022?
Yeah.
2 years later. Damn, man. Fuck. Sorry. 2 years later, you have a UI that's pretty bad. And I've seen a couple of screenshots where there are 2 like hints, I guess I would call them, like prompts on screen that are telling you what to do. And they're saying the same thing. So it's like it's a lot of visual noise coming out of these screenshots, which is not going to sell a lot of people on the right side if they're interested in this game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think what it can do is, like, for somebody like me, like looking at these screenshots, because it's valid to say like some of the finer things in video games that the average player might not care about. They might not care about super well UI design, but what something like this can do, and I think what developers don't realize, is that I look at this and I'm already tired. I'm already exhausted because it looks like one of these games where you just have to do X and then Y and then Z and then this and then that. And like, again, that won't affect everybody, and maybe they don't care. Maybe this is just the best that they could do. But like, when I see UI like this and I see gameplay with a HUD that looks like this, I immediately get tired. I immediately just think there's a lot going on. I can't just sit down and enjoy this game. I'm gonna have to do something, or I do not something. Lots of somethings. But.
I saw a tweet, obviously comparing like minimalistic UIs in comparison to Suicide Squad. The main one that we should go to is Dead Spaces, where everything was diegetic, right? And
Yeah.
they kind of, there's like 4 important things on screen, and they're all related to Isaac and hit whatever he's interacting with, and everything's there. And granted, a quote tweet was like, "Well, yeah, well, that's a different game and in a different genre doing a completely different thing." However, I think it is important to be like, okay, well, Persona 3. A JRPG from Atlas is also a pretty busy game. There are a lot of mechanics to do in like battles or like in the menus and whatever. Like that is a very busy game, and yet they have a stylized UI that is easy to read and like emphasizes aesthetics and like is not busy in a way that is like obtrusive to the gameplay experience. Could there be a way to do this here? Probably. There's probably a better way to do it. I don't think the current version is the best version it could be. And I think about like, you know, the user experience of like Call of Duty players in the new Modern Warfare games, where like that was designed by people who previously worked at Hulu, and that scrolling through stuff on Hulu is not the same as scrolling through playlists in games, where like that was that experience on
Right.
COD just wasn't as good.
Yeah,
Bummer.
and even games like you mentioned, like somebody on Twitter said that Dead Space to this game is an unfair comparison. But even games in Suicide Squad's genre, like Destiny,
I
like
was just thinking this.
they
Sure.
like the UI is at least in game. Like you could talk about the menus if you want to, but like the actual in game UI for Destiny is pretty clean, and there's a lot of abilities that you have to go through, and switching guns and interacting with different things in the environment. And for games like that, I like seeing numbers on my screen. I think that's satisfying, but they do it in a way that isn't intrusive and like you mentioned earlier, like visual noise that's just to have shit on the screen. So there definitely is a way to do it, and I guess I don't know why they're not doing it, because obviously they're a talented studio who has done good stuff in the past, but maybe it's because it's their first time doing it. But that's hard for me to believe. For a studio that's so talented, I feel like they could figure it out if they had enough time to figure it out.
Right.
I feel like UIs in general now have just gotten way too complex for no reason. Like the main menus have all gotten way too overblown. Like there's 20
Yes.
million things going on, and in game as well, like we're talking about now. But like Call of Duty, that fucking makes me want to throw up every time I see that
Yes.
UI. It's awful.
God.
I love God of War Ragnarok. Like amazing game, but I did not like traversing through like the
Oh my god.
RPG mechanics of like gear. The gear was like what am I looking at? And then again, Spider-Man 2, a game that we all had criticisms about, but like largely really enjoyed. I didn't like traversing through the menus like of like the different upgrade systems that the game had. Like it was a lot.
Right.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Let's simplify it a little bit, guys.
Less is more. IMO.
It's true. All right. Our second and last PXN news of the week item. Nintendo Switch 2 has some rumored specs here. Gage shared these with us. Thank you, Gage. We have a little summary here. So there's a T239 system on chip that they're saying is going to be there. I don't think people are going to know what that is, so I'm not even going to say it.
I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, fuck
Look-
you for assuming. I'm kidding.
For you. The rest of you aren't me. Like, come on.
Yeah.
The one thing I was just gonna say is that where does he have it here? So he says that the GPU. He says he doesn't know what it means by GA10F. The only thing I can't say this definitively, but the GA followed by a bunch of numbers is usually what NVIDIA uses for their code name for GPUs. So the only thing I can say from this is that it seems like it might be a NVIDIA dedicated GPU in this, which would be kind of exciting. I think the Switch 1 uses an SoC, all-in-one type thing, if I remember correctly. So I can't say that to certainty, but NVIDIA uses GA10 something 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 for their mainline 40 series, 30 series, 20 series graphics cards. So it looks like there's going to be an 8-core NVIDIA GPU probably in this.
Which would make
DLSS?
sense.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I saw that.
Yeah, I think it is very similar to the current Switch because I think the current Switch has a NVIDIA GPU as well, so that
Okay.
would make sense. Yeah,
Right.
And DLSS I think was something we talked about a few weeks ago that it was rumored to have some sort of DLSS support, which would help quite a bit with performance, which would be huge. Obviously, NVIDIA has the best technology out there for that right now, so. It also has a 12-stream multi-processor GPU. Insane. 3.5 to 4.5 teraflops, which is, I think, a little bit under what like the Xbox One X was, but around that ballpark. And that's when you're docked, and handheld is 1.7 to 2 teraflops handheld, which is a bit more powerful than PS4 generation. 12 or 16 gigabytes of RAM, of DDR5 RAM, of course, is faster RAM. 100 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth, docked, 88 gigabytes in handheld mode, which I don't know how they'll handle that, but I guess the resolution differences, it probably won't be as big
Right.
file sizes. Yeah.
Right.
Memory cache specifics uncertain. The display is an 8-inch screen with 1080p and 60 hertz refresh rate, which that's great. That's an upgrade over the current Switch, right?
Really good pairing with
Yeah,
the handheld,
720.
with the alleged handheld power too. Like that's a really good balance.
Yeah. The internal storage is either 256 gigs or 512 gigs. Cartridge specifics are unknown, but 3D NAND may provide a cost-effective way to significantly increase storage, which is interesting. And expanded external storage and battery details remain unknown. So there's additional details referring to DLSS, reflex, and ray tracing with favorable comparisons to RTX 3000 graphics cards, which would be that would be quite significant if that's true. Full HD 1080p on handheld mode, a 512 gigabyte internal storage ceiling, and 500 gigabytes storage potential on cartridges. Holy shit. That's a massive number for cartridges.
Yeah, it seems like the internal storage alone is a huge increase over the original Switch. From what the Switch is probably my least used console, so from what I can remember, I don't remember those things launching with anywhere near that much internal storage. But really, I'm excited. As somebody who's not a Nintendo guy, this gets me excited. This is, now we should say, this is technically street meat. Like we don't know this for sure. But this would signal to me a Nintendo that is listening. Yes, it's still lacking compared to AAA consoles, but I mean, when it comes to hardware, Nintendo's never really tried to be that, at least not for a very long time. And for the games that they make, this looks like plenty of horsepower for the devs to work with. Because I think I look at games like Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm literally blown away thinking of what it's running on already. So this kind of game, this is going to do the developers really well. And again, as much as we've talked about before, and I'm not a fan of relying on DLSS compared to native horsepower, you can only do so much with Mario, right? It's never going to be The Last of Us. You're never going to be bonking people with 2x4s and need, insane detail and all this crazy, giblets and ray tracing and all this stuff. I don't know. I think this is very, very promising for a Switch 2. And if it's anything near this will be a worthy sequel to the console, I think.
As long as Metro Prime 4 fucking kicks ass, I don't care.
If it comes out at this point.
Not enough.
What if they pivoted, right? What if they knew what was coming down the pipeline and they made it for this, and we could get something that a Metroid game made for Switch 2 that like takes full advantage of this kind of horsepower. That would look a lot better than the Metroid that you guys saw before. I'm excited for Nintendo. I hope this is right.
I'd buy this.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be hard not to. I'd buy it and use it 3 times and let it sit there.
Yeah, but those 3 times would be sick.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Can we please, for the love of God, just make sure we have fucking backwards compatibility?
Native
with the
backwards
Switch?
compatibility, yes.
Sure.
Because that's the thing. I would pick this up and I would absolutely throw this on the TV and play, and finally get around to playing the new Zelda games, which look like exactly my type of game.
You know what?
Oh my god.
You guys throw it up on the TV, and me and Ro will lay in bed and play it on handheld.
Together?
I mean, sure, I
Oh,
guess.
nice.
Why not?
But is it not crazy to you, Rashan, that like I don't know, like you think of traveling back in time and talking to your younger self, you'll be sitting laying in bed with what is essentially a PlayStation 4 in your hands.
Oh, that's
Just
exciting.
sitting there, just
Yeah.
play that kind of power. That's crazy.
Pretty cool.
That's wild to think about, putting it that way.
And then and then somebody like me who's a pessimist thinks about the PlayStation Portal and then gets mad again.
Oh. Well, fingers crossed. It's good. We missed something, unless I missed that you guys talked about it.
Oh.
It's really quick. We don't have to talk about it too much. But Last of Us Season 2 cast Caitlin Dever as Abby.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention.
And they also cast the brother from Beef as Jesse from
Yes.
just in The Last of Us.
Forgot about that too.
Incredible. I can't wait to see him for 13 minutes. The entire runtime.
God damn it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. He's just not a character that has a lot of screen time. He's got 4 scenes, and there's nothing about his character. It's just he doesn't.
I think if anything, Dan spoiled it more just by saying spoiler alert.
That's true.
No.
You got ahead of yourself, Dan.
That's true, I guess. Well, never mind. I was going to say something else. All right. Moving on. We will obviously skip fantasy draft check-in. That's going to be our topic of the show. And we will move straight into what you got for me. Dan, what do you got for me? Well, Dan, I have finally completed yet another video game, although we're in a new year now, so I can, I guess, start my 2024 list. Alan Wake 2 has been completed. This game, I played the first, 4-ish hours or 5-ish hours, something like that, when I first reported on this game. And I talked about how, I was enjoying it very much. It's very much in the same vein as the first game. And, I enjoyed it at that time. I didn't have any major criticisms except for the lip sync issue, which oddly disappeared after that first 4 or 5 hour session. But yes, after that moment, the last fucking 10 or 11 hours of that game just fucking flew by. I literally could not stop playing the game until I beat the game all in one sitting in that 10 or 11 hours. And I had work the next morning too. And I was like, I'm not going to bed until this game's fucking complete, because that's how much I was hooked on this fucking game. The fucking narrative in this game is absolutely insane, but it's fucking incredible. I absolutely loved this story. And that's coming from someone from the first game where I was like, what the fuck is going on in this story? Like, I didn't know what the fuck was even happening in the first game, because I don't think that they did as good of a job in the first game of I guess putting pieces together and tying them all together so that you could kind of see them all working at the same time and working together. Whereas in this game, you can literally play all of Saga's story if you want. You can play all of Alan's story if you want. You can mix and match them. Personally, I was going back and forth, and that was, of course, from Christian's recommendation after I had done the 5 hours in. And that was perfect way to play the game, in my opinion, is going back and forth between the two. Now, there is a little bit of nuance at the end with how things shake out, but it really played well, because you see a moment happen here, and then you go on Saga's side and you're like, all right, these pieces are starting to fit together. And that was very satisfying to me. Whereas if I had played all of Alan's story, I don't know if I would have went back and played Saga's and been like, oh yeah, I remember that, because I would have been like, what the fuck? I don't remember that. But yes, right. I absolutely loved that narrative. Worked very well for me. And, yeah, the game is just awesome. I love that game, and it's definitely one of my top games from last year. Absolutely amazing. So, shout out.
I'm glad we got here.
Yeah. Shout out to Sam Lake, because that man's insane. But
Think about how exciting that is for the future of like Remedy games, like
yeah,
Control 2 in the works. Think about how like great that's going to be. Like everything they've learned from just every iteration that of any game that they're doing is somehow like backwards looking, but also iterating on everything they're doing, but also somehow a continuation of that. It's so cool. I guess the aside is that they're working on the Max Payne remake, but even still, like, what is that going to look like in 2020 XX? Like, I'm sure it'll be even cooler.
yes, it's gonna be wild. Gonna be wild. All right, Ro, what you got for me?
Not much. I played a little bit of a game called Eastward, which is a game from my backlog from like 2021 that I promised myself that I would beat someday. So I'm still trying to get around to it. It's like Zelda meets, I don't know, The Last of Us. It's a really cool story. In like The Last of Us is the story part of it, but it's like more of a Zelda game where it's top down, or a classic Zelda game where it's top down dungeon crawling, slashing your enemies with one button with the sword and stuff like that. But it's a really cute story, beautiful graphics. Recently, the team Pixpill, I think is the developer, announced that it's getting some DLC this year, which I was surprised by. So I'm happy that they did so well enough to get like DLC. So I want to beat the game as soon as possible so I can maybe play the DLC in 2 years. But yeah, I really enjoy it, and I just want to be able to say that I've beaten it someday. So getting around to that right now.
Hell yeah. Christian, what you got for me?
I somehow I don't know how this happened, man. I somehow got my girlfriend really into Fortnite. So we've been playing and sometimes squatting up with like some of my other friends. And last night we played Fortnite and we got a win so disgusting that the person that lost messaged me after the win. And what did he say? I took a screenshot.
Oh my god.
And
Those are the best victories. Come on.
and he double messaged me saying, "Y'all thought y'all was good from camping. Don't make me embarrass y'all and put it on YouTube." And I gave him a thumbs up as a response. And I was supposed to message him again this morning saying,
Did you post it?
I was going to respond, "How's it going, champ? Still sore?" And I forgot. Anyway,
Okay.
Fortnite's fun. And over the weekend, I got together with a few friends to play Lethal Company because two of them had never played for the first time. So we squatted up, and then we somehow got into Party Animals after. So we got Party Animals. I was surprised at how like fun that gameplay is. I thought it was just like a Gang Beasts ripoff, clone, whatever you want to call it. But no, like they're like, depending on the map, you have like different things to. I mean, Dan and Gage know. You have like different objectives. Like there's one that's essentially like capture the flag, and there's one that's like make the train go the farthest by putting coal into the thing. But you can obviously like sabotage the enemy. And the other one is like play arcade games inside of this arena, and whoever collects the most diamonds wins. But you can like obviously punch people off of the arcade cabinet. And I was like surprised, like, this is actually like kind of a fun twist on like what Gang Beasts could be. And that hour that we played flew by, and my friend like texted me immediately after, being like, "Dude, I can't wait to play more." And I was like, "Bomb, let's go again." So more coming soon from Party Animals. And then the last thing that I dug my I guess dip my toes in. I'm doing pre-pro on another video at DualShockers, not for the one that's coming, not my next one, but like I guess the third video that I'll be making. And to do that one, I I started playing a little bit of Lies of P, the Souls-like game, Pinocchio. Bloodborne meets Sekiro, but you play as Pinocchio, and I both really like it and also a lot of things that I don't like about it. But still, I think I largely like it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you were wary of this game for a while, but like I always saw that like the buzz around it was like not crazy, but like positive. Like people like it.
Yeah, I think like consensus is like this is the best Souls ripoff yet. And my response is yes, absolutely, I agree. But it's still not as good as a From Software game.
For sure. Right.
but it's pretty close.
Pretty close. Christian Macias. That's his review of Last of Us.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Oh, dude, final season coming soon.
I'm not ready for the final season, man.
I know.
Gage, what you got for me?
Elden Ring. I've got Elden Ring. I'm trying to mentally like rip myself off of it, but because I want to get to Alan Wake 2. I want to get to Alan Wake 2 before it, everything settles. I kind of want to talk about it while everybody's still excited about it because I have a feeling I'm really going to like it. But alas, I am not able to get away from Elden Ring. So I'm still playing that. I'm getting close to the end. Every now and again, I check in with Christian because it's one of those games that doesn't really... There's multiple endings, but unlike Telltale, where every time you do something, a little notification pops up and lets you know that you've done something, Elden Ring has a lot of these systems in the background. So I'm kind of checking in, making sure I'm not missing out on any sort of quest before I progress to the next stage and do that kind of thing. But man, am I enjoying my time with it. And I sent Christian a video of probably the most... It feels good to me because I feel like this is a very FromSoft thing to happen to somebody, and this is my first... I'm very new to this. But talk about... I'll send it to the PXN chat after so you guys can see because it's just absolutely ridiculous. But I'm playing this game, and there's new levels of anger I'm discovering that is capable within me when I play video games. Because most of the time I don't play video games that get me very angry, except for Spider-Man 2. But like I'll go through the motions of like you're fighting a boss and you're getting angry, and then like you're getting audibly angry, and I'm huffing and getting mad. But then like I unlock this new level of anger where I'm yelling please out loud while I'm like as I'm getting closer and closer to the end of the boss, like as if there's somebody that like is will say, okay, I hear you, yes, I'll do it. Like I'm pleading with nobody, and Lynn's looking at me being like, are you sure you should be playing this game? Like it seems like it's not very fun at all. And it's just like, mind your business, I'm in the middle of something. Oh my god. But then you finally beat the boss and you feel like $1 million. Oh my god, this game, it's incredible.
The video you sent me is like a pretty common. It's a pretty common experience from like. Do you want to say what it was? You don't have to mention the boss, but like what happened at the end.
So this is a boss that I was probably stuck on for like 3 or 4 play sessions. I want to say I spent probably a total of like 4 hours trying to just running into this boss arena, dying, rinse and repeat over and over again across multiple sessions, and I finally am getting to the point where his health bar is like a smidge on the screen, and I kill him, but I kill him while he's doing an animation of an attack, and because it's a FromSoft game, even though my health is at 3/4 full, he hits me and I go to 0, and he's fading away and my character's fading away, and the level of anger I have is just insurmountable. And I'm watching and waiting to see what's gonna pop first: enemy defeated or you died. And you died comes up, but I sit and I don't press anything and I wait. And as the screen's fading to black, I see enemy felled. So this loading screen hits, and the amount of anxiety in my body, and I'm waiting. And the game gave it to me. The universe gave it to me. I beat the boss. I didn't get the rewards I was supposed to get from beating the boss. Like this was down to the wire. But I beat the boss, and it's incredible. I'll send you it plays it much better in video form. But my god, the feeling, Christian, you can imagine the feeling.
And this happens to me once every From Software game. I will kill a boss as he's killing me. And I mean, it still counts because you still killed him. And when you respawn, like, oh hell yeah!
Right.
You go back and pick up the souls from the boss. Like, cool. And here's my 10,000.
Right. I didn't though. It ate it. It ate it for me. I didn't get any of the runes.
That sucks.
Yeah,
that sucks.
No, I got nothing. But I was like, I'll take it. Whatever. I'll take it.
Gage, Natalie says the pleading stage of gaming will eat you alive. Wait until you hit the praying stage.
God damn.
Yeah.
God.
Bring to who is it? Miyazaki is the creator.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I did one of these bosses with 2 friends on call, and I have it recorded. I'm just going, oh.
Yep.
Are you sure that's an Elden Ring boss battle that you're recording?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, you sick fuck.
I'm just kidding. Guys, one last disclaimer before we go into the topic of the show. You have 12 hours left to redeem Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy for free from Epic Game Store. Fucking download that game. That is a great game. Little disclaimer. I don't know why I threw it in there.
Oh, that's fair. I still haven't done it.
Do
That's
it.
just how much I don't want to download the Epic Game Store again on my computer. I should.
This is God speaking to you.
Miyazaki.
All right. Topic of the show, 2024 Fantasy Critic Draft. We have made it to the moment that everyone's been waiting for, and Dan has been counting his victories ever since.
Here we go.
Yes. Dan, while you get that screen up, I can go over league settings for this year. Also, I mean, of course, we got to start out 2024's fantasy draft with a congratulations to Halo Infinite. Well, I'm sorry, I forget. I don't have the title up, but can you tell me the name again?
Halo Infinite will eventually be 343's Halo 3. And I think we've made it to that point at the end of 2023. We are there.
Did it happen? We did it.
We did it.
Well, that's subjective. The objective thing is that Daniel is indeed the winner of last year. 2 wins in a row. Will he get the third? We'll find out in a couple of months. Until then, we went over our rules. We went over our rules for this year's draft before the podcast started, so I'll go over them briefly. The total number of games that we are going to draft by the end of the year will remain the same at 15 games. Our draft on today's episode will be 5 games each. We'll do this in a reverse round robin where the last place person from last year will go first, and then vice versa. Total number of counter picks will remain at 2 for the end of the year. Our bid amount, so the minimum dollar amount that you have to spend to draft either a game or a counter pick game, has gone up by $1 from $4 now to $5. So you have to be a little bit strategic with the money you're spending. Of course, bids are under a secret bidding system, and those process Saturday morning or like overnight. So make sure you get your bids in by Friday night because those process over the weekend. Drop settings. You can drop a few games. Last year we had 4. This year we increased it to 5. And the categories are: you can drop 2 games that will release this year. If you don't want them anymore, get them out. You have 2 of those. And then games that shift dates from 2024 into 2025, those will not release games, and we're going to leave that the same at 3. Now, please don't forget that there are a number of banned tags in Fantasy Draft. Early access games do not count. So, Hades 2 is going to release in early access this year. You cannot draft that game for points because OpenCritic does not give that game any points.
Well, unless it comes out.
Launches in 2024. Yeah, what if it launches in early access and then releases in 2024?
Then yes,
You're safe.
Absolutely.
Cool.
You're safe. Director's cuts do not count. Fantasy Critic lists examples of these as Persona 5 Royal, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and you can also talk like Death Stranding Director's Cut.
Right.
Those kind of games. Partial remakes like the Demon's Souls PS5 remake, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Again, those games aren't going to count. Ports, those games don't count either. So, like, if The Last of Us Part 2 comes to PC, that won't count because that game already got reviews. Released internationally games don't count either. So that's kind of really a game that is already released outside of North America. And then comes to North America will not get you points because it's already technically out. And then, of course, remasters. So Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Zelda, Wind Waker HD. Those are all remasters. Those games don't count because they're not new games. We're going to confirm these settings. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Ready.
Swag. Swag. The year is not active yet. Not every player has created a publisher. I forgot that we have to do this. So Dan has already made his publisher for this year, and he is called ODST Publishing.
Hell yeah. Orbital Drop, Shock, Troopers, everyone. Let's go.
Great publisher.
I'm going to make a publisher for myself.
Orbital Drop, Shock, Troopers. Here we go. That's my.
I am incredible. I am under Eternal Rose Software.
Okay.
You know
And
what?
I forgot to mention this. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
I was just gonna say they should put your projected points based on like what the previous years were. That'd be really cool if they averaged them out. You know.
Sure.
You know. I don't know.
I did forget to mention that everyone will have a budget of $100 at the start of the campaign here. I'm getting kind of nervous, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You should be with my first pick. Absolutely.
You've already decided?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh wow. How long have you been thinking about this?
I told you at the start of the show. I've been planning this year since the beginning of last year.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the beginning of time.
Wow.
Does everyone have their publishers? I can't see that right now.
Flat circle.
Yeah, everyone has their publishers now.
Gage, go ahead and give me your publisher name.
Maidenless Gaming.
Nice, dude. Nice.
I
Ro.
like it. Mine is Ro Mona Flowers Gaming.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Dan, I feel like I robbed you of giving your publisher name by your own voice. So go ahead and give us your publisher name one more time.
Sure. ODST Publishing. We're going to
Incredible.
drop into hell.
Let me
This year will
do.
be hell for you. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to add a few games into my watch list, so those are all now added. So I have a couple of games to maneuver here with. So I'm going to set the draft order now. Oh, perfect. They added this.
In the right order?
They have this option now where it says recommended. You can do the inverse of last year's results. So I'm just going to click that.
Oh,
It'll sort for us.
hell yeah.
So there we go. Again, Gage will go first, and then followed by Roshan, then myself, and lastly Dan. And I think this round robin, so then it will go backwards. So it'll be Dan again, then me, then Ro, then Gage.
Hell yeah.
Sneaking. Let's start drafting. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Maidenless Gaming, your first pick.
All right. Let me just type it in here.
With the first pick in the 2024 fantasy draft, Gage selects. Oh,
I'll let Christian read it out loud.
oh,
You're such a bitch,
dude.
We're going for the dub this year, boys.
Oh, jeez.
Audio listeners, Gage has drafted Hollow Knight Silksong as his first choice.
Well done. Well
You're
done.
such a
Well
bitch.
played.
The game comes out in early access this year or something stupid.
Oh god.
I had like some kind of like weird like half dream at the end of December where I'm like, what if it released and like it didn't do well?
Oh,
Right.
shit.
It won't. It'll do amazing.
I was having similar thoughts about Hades too. I was getting nervous.
Roshan.
All right. My first game is going to be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah, I knew it. Was there any? Was there ever any doubt that you wouldn't pick that game as your first?
No. If given the option, if Gage obviously took it, I had another one, but nope. That was the Lockharts last year. It would be wrong if I didn't.
Right.
You guys are such weenies, dude. Everyone going for these surefire ones, huh? I got a couple of one in my sleeve, but I got to remove that because Ro took this. Got to remove this because Gage took that.
Oof. The punches are starting.
Curious what Dan's first pick is going to be.
You know what?
I am too.
Where do I do draft game? There we go. Here we go. From my watch list.
Mhm.
And then right there. Everyone else is doing like some kind of big game with high expectations.
Mm.
Why don't I follow suit with
Ah!
Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2?
Damn it.
Nice.
Fuck.
Nice. Well,
Nice. Fucking damn
it's a
it.
good pick.
Oh boy, here we are, gentlemen. What am I going to do here? I want to do something that I feel like I'm going to get chastised for.
You're gonna kiss me with tongue?
Maybe. After this pick, maybe. No. Yeah. God damn it.
You have to pick something.
I know. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
You're such a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Another-
either that or
I
some
knew it.
Warhammer game.
This is the year where we have stakes. What do you talk about?
Yep.
This is it. This is the
it.
year.
This is it.
Oh, I forgot to mention this. The biggest change of all.
Right.
This year, we have high stakes for the winners and
Oh,
the
yeah.
losers. The winner of this year's fantasy draft is going to get. We decided against this one. The winner is going to get a custom controller with the text on there as PXN's 2024 Fantasy Critic Games winner, first place winner. The loser, conversely, will have to either their choosing sit down and eat 10 pancakes at a diner in one sitting on camera, or do a spicy wing challenge of eating 10 hot wings on stream.
This is exciting. This is
I like
exciting.
this. I like this a lot.
So, before Dan goes, our first round picks are Gage with Silksong, Roshan Werner with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Why'd I give Roshan's a last name and not Gage's? I don't know. Me with Hellblade 2, and Daniel with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
And I'm about to break hearts once again because my next game is Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree.
You did.
Huge. That is huge. Two bitch-ass picks back to back. I'm going to say it. But strong picks. I'm not going to lie to you. I have great feelings about this upcoming game that I don't know, man. Something about it is No, you know what?
Oh, he's changing
No.
live on
I
air.
am on the fly. Yeah, I'm going to interrupt myself to say, you know what? There's another big game coming out that I feel like
Oh,
it's going to be pretty.
I hope you do what I thought. Oh, man, I really hope you're doing what I.
What do you think he's doing?
Oh, never mind.
No.
Oh, he's
Tekken
Out of
8,
a
baby.
Ah,
Tekken
that was
8,
on my
baby.
list. That was on my list. No. Damn it. No, I think that's a solid pick for sure. Oh man.
The stakes have never been higher.
I'm upset. That was gonna be my next pick too.
Okay, these chats we're getting in the chat. Glenn is saying, Dan, you should have made it 5th echelon because Splinter Cell coming soon. I don't think that game's coming soon, Glenn. Natalie says W pick Roshan for your first pick. And,
Oh my
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. She's a Final Fantasy fan.
I don't know.
Oh my
I've never even heard her say the words.
He's never
Final
met this
Fantasy.
woman
Wow.
before in his life. He has no
Oh,
idea.
right.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to go with, since Christian took Tekken 8, I'm going to go with this. Oh, wait, am I next?
Yes.
Yeah, you're currently going.
Why didn't it let me go? I was on the wrong thing. Sorry for the blue balls here.
Glenn's volunteering to eat
Whoa.
pancakes and Natalie's volunteering to eat hot wings. So there you go.
Okay, there we go.
We'll just have them do it for us.
Yeah.
Like a
Nice.
yeah, like a dragon, infinite wealth.
Very good.
Another good pick.
Okay.
Now
Oh,
you got 2 back-to-back here, Gage.
I do.
Yeah.
do.
So keep that. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna pick one. This is like a support pick. This one is close to my heart. We're gonna go with this guy here, I think.
I think I know what it is.
Skull
Yeah,
and
you do.
Bones.
Yep. No, it's definitely not Skull and Bones.
I knew it. Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2.
Oh, yeah, that
Okay.
makes more sense.
Okay.
Oh.
Now we gotta go for a safe pick. Let me open up my list here. There's not really a lot of safe picks. I'm gonna go wild. Actually, this is gonna be a little bit.
Remember the stakes
Oh
are
no, never
high.
mind. We're gonna go with this guy. I don't know. I didn't think about this.
Oh no.
Fuck. Okay.
Whoa, Hades 2?
I think they'll try and get a full release in 2024, only for the fact. No, okay, developers don't only make games for awards. That's not true. But if they want Game of the Year, it has to be 2024. It has to be. If they want this game to get its moment to shine, you can't release it in the year of GTA 6. You can't.
Gage, I think you're spot on, dude. I like for the first one, like it was in early access for so long because it was the first time they were doing something that was like they've never done a roguelike game before. With that experience in mind, and with like obviously not using the same assets, but like with familiarity of like designing stuff like that, I think the time between early access to full release will not be as long as we think. So I think is it a safe pick? No, but is it that out of the question? I don't think so at all.
Right. It's a high risk, high reward because if it launches, it's a guaranteed hit. But you know what I mean? Like it could slip into 2025 easily. I'm hoping that they've got their eye on the ball and they're trying to get their moment to shine in 2024.
I can't lie. Just seeing Gage's like 3 right here, like this could be the strongest of us 4 so far.
Damn.
Could be.
Okay.
Until Dan comes in.
Warhammer.
All the pickups.
With the Warhammer.
There's a couple on my watch list that I'm not super confident with yet, and I want to see more of before I pick them. But I also don't want you guys to pick them. Like, say there's a nice preview,
Right?
And you guys already picked it. It's like, damn it, I could have had that. But I am going to go with Persona 3 Reload.
Motherfucker. That was my next one. That was literally my next one.
Yes. Getting you back for Tekken 8.
That's fair. Yeah, Persona 3 Reload is going to be an absolutely huge. Like it's in that weird area where it's like it's not a remake, but it kind of is. But it's also the same game, but it's also not. Yeah. But yeah.
I'm excited.
Great.
I also haven't played it, so I am looking forward to it myself.
It's a good pick.
Thank you.
Wonder what Christian's third pick's gonna be now. Everyone stole all of his picks, you know?
Yeah, that was I've been eyeing this for a while. So I was wanting to do this as like my 4th or 5th. But I think I'll do it now just to have it safe because I think this is going to be like some solid points. There's enough confidence in the ramp up to the release of this game that I think it'll do well, both with players and critics, and specifically critics. So my third pick.
Oh,
Helldivers 2.
Oh,
nice.
Helldivers 2. And now, ladies and gentlemen, is the moment we have all been waiting for. What? Ineligible? Why is it ineligible?
Because
let's go, baby.
Wait. I'm confused.
The moment we've all been waiting for.
What?
I have been waiting for this.
No. Wait. What games are ineligible? What games are ineligible?
That one.
I feel like this shouldn't be. I feel like this.
Early access games, director's cuts, partial remakes, ports,
Oh,
Release
so,
international
so if
and
it's-
remasters.
if it's already released early access?
Yes, games that are currently in early access do not count.
Fuck!
But then how am I able to pick Hades 2, which is going to
Because
launch
it's,
early?
Because it's
because
not,
it's not
out
currently in
yet.
early access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It'd be unfair to know how good it is, and then you pick it, and then it comes out.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
okay,
true,
I see.
I was gonna pick Sons of the Forest and fucking just fuck Gage over, and then fuck ineligible. Fuck.
Hey. How's that medicine? Your own taste flavored?
You know what? That's just a setback. That's just a setback. We're fine. We're fine.
Right. Seems like you're not fine though.
No, I'm just debating what I want to do. Man, there's a lot of good options here. But, sorry, what?
I'm just saying, Skull and Bones is still on the table.
Skull
Go
and
with
Bones.
that.
Fuck off with that shit. I'm going to go with a risk because I don't know much about it, but I'm assuming the Nintendo peeps are going to come out for it. Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door remake.
Oh, I thought you were going with the other one, but
Damn
no,
it.
that is a good pick.
I know the other one you're thinking of too, Ro.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sad that you went with that one. God damn it.
Well, I still have one more pick.
Oh yeah.
So, in that other game, I know exactly what you guys are talking about, but I'm actually not as. I'm a little more optimistically. I don't know.
Yes.
Down
You
on
chose the
this
better of
game.
the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You chose the better of the two.
Yes. I am going to pick something that comes out very soon with my next pick. And it's going to piss off Christian once again because it's Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown.
Wow.
And there she is.
I was gonna. Yeah, that was my next one.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I was hoping none of you guys would pick it and I'd pick it up on as a bid.
Yep.
Yeah, that does piss me off. That's been on my even my personal list for games to play for a long time.
Absolutely.
Never have I wanted a game to suck ass more than right now. That game is like revolutionizing Metroidvanias, by the way. I sent a tweet out. Like that game introduced a new system where you take a screenshot of something that you see in a level or like in a room, and you can access that anywhere within the game and like see where you were, and it's like live. And it's also it's a cross play game. I guess you can like pick up and play on a different system and it still carries over. Pretty cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Okay, then in that case, that's fine. Because I have another game I've been holding for a while, and this actually might piss Ro off a little bit.
Oh,
This is the year where if I can't have Silk Song, then I have another indie that I know for a fact is going to do well. I need.
Peaches,
I feel good. Yacht Club Games. Where are we at with Mina the Hollower?
That's a good one. It wasn't what I was thinking, but that is a good one. Damn.
It's not what I was thinking either.
Okay. I must say, and you guys could take it if you want to, but I am so sad that I can't confidently draft Destiny 2 the final shape as much as I want to. In any other year, I could, but I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, in any other year, I would draft it no problem because I'm like Destiny 2 expansion. Of course, it's going to be good. But after the last year, I was like, oh, I don't know anymore.
Buck is being the goodest boy right now and wants some attention.
I'm gonna go with this one. I'm hoping it releases this year. It's supposed to, and I could always drop it, I guess, if it doesn't. It is also an indie game, I believe. Plucky Squire.
Oh, nice, good pick.
I'm gonna go with that.
Solid.
So this is a double pick for me.
Yep. Your last two, right? We're doing 5.
Yeah, last 2. Okay. I'm surprised Dan didn't pick this up, so I'm gonna do it now. First one, Stalker 2, Hearts of Chernobyl.
I had that on my list, but fuck.
What little we've seen, I don't think we've seen a lot publicly, but I think there was a leak late last year or early last year, with a lot of gameplay footage. I think over 13 minutes of gameplay footage, and it looked really good.
That was gonna be
really
my number 5 pick. I was gonna pick it.
Okay.
The first game did pretty well too.
Well, the first game's like a cult classic, I think. Like it's pretty well regarded for PC games. Let's see, watch list here. And I think Dan, I know this seems personal, and it is.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to pick. Oh, I can't actually just select from here? Okay. We'll go over here then.
I've got a couple of ideas in my head, so you won't hurt me.
Oh, I'm doing watch list. I'm in the wrong thing, that's why.
Gage's 4th pick, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Don't joke. I'm missing. I'm touching a bunch of stuff right now. I got worried.
Click the wrong thing.
There we go. Draft game.
No!
Obsidian's Avowed.
I fucking hate you. God damn it.
Oh no.
Oh man, we are stacked, baby.
Fuck.
That's a good list. That's a good list.
Fuck these projected points and where they get off, because they're putting me in last again. But you know what? We're gonna prove them wrong.
Okay.
9 points for Hades 2. Get the fuck out of here.
I am going to go with a game that I'm very excited for. I know Christian's very excited for it as well. This is one of those games where I think it's going to do really well, but there is a universe where I think it might not review well if it's like, I don't know, there's something that could happen. But I'm going to still draft it because I think it's going to be good. It looks really good, everything I've seen. Stellar Blade.
That's a game I was back and forth about, like, to draft or not.
Me too, but I decided to go with it. Always drop it later if something bad happens.
People in
The
the
thing
chat.
for me,
Sorry.
go ahead. So no, please.
Chat update.
People in the chat are going nuts about these picks, and also people ranting about wanting the dog/cat/animal/buck. It's impossible in this current setup that I have to get him on here unless I put him in my lap, which I'm not doing.
Why not?
This dog's 50 pounds.
If people are wanting animals on stream, like, this is the one episode that my cats aren't on my face. Because normally they're all up over me.
Good. What are they saying about the picks?
Do it, coward. Jesus Christ. They were saying really good picks, which I apologize. I missed which ones they were talking about, but the last pick or building or bulking. Okay, I gotcha. Glenn's bulking with his pancakes.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
Kind of hope I lose. Pancakes sound bomb. A lot of games to pick. My final one, I think I'm going to play the game that Dan's been playing for these past 2 years, because it seems to get him the win. Oh, critically acclaimed game is getting a DLC? Oh, then I'm going to draft it, you know?
Oh, I know what you're picking. Fuck you. Fuck.
You don't know that. You don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what I'm doing.
You don't know what he's doing.
You don't know what I'm doing.
Do it.
You barely beat the game.
Fuck
Alan Wake,
you.
Alan Wake 2, Night Springs.
That was my fucking backup plan.
Not
God.
anymore.
You did take Shadow of the Erd Tree from him.
I did. That's fair.
This seems like the yin yang balance.
I seem to recall his 4th pick. I'm gonna fuck over Christian. Giggle, giggle.
No, that was Gage, right? I was gonna do
No, that
Sons
was
of the
definitely it.
Forest. God.
Now, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do now?
Fuck.
And there's still about 10 games on my watch list I still had up my sleeve.
I mean, I have other games on here, but those are the ones. Avowed and fucking Alan Wake Night Springs were the ones that I was banking on.
Yeah.
I have other ones though. I just have to decide. Man, people aren't very high on the ones that are on my list, which is making me question it.
Well, according to whatever system this thing uses.
That's true.
It also thinks that Hades is going to get a 79 Open Critic, which is kind of hilarious.
If you're looking at hype factors, it could be just the amount of people who have like watch listed or something.
Right. It's probably an internal, metric like that.
I'm gonna go with a risky one here.
Let's do it.
Because if you don't risk it, you ain't gonna fucking win this fucking thing.
Oh.
So we're gonna go with something Dan normally doesn't do, which is draft an indie game. And that game
Which one?
is Replaced.
Nice.
Mother.
Solid.
The draft is complete.
The draft.
We're all
is
sticking
complete.
ahead. No. Draft is complete.
Nice.
Fuck you, Dan.
So, I agree. I concur. So the next bid is going to process in 2 days. So indeed, it is over the weekend on Saturday. Before that, though, if we want to go down the list through our publishers and announce our 5 drafted games, let's do that. Starting with Gage and Maidenless Gaming. Your games.
We are starting off with Hollow Knight Silk Song, then Dragon's Dogma 2, Hades 2, Stalker 2, Hearts of Chernobyl, and Avowed.
His projected points are about 111 based on those and then the subsequent games that he gets later. Ro, your games and your publisher.
My publisher, Ramona Flowers Gaming, has drafted Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Persona 3 Reload, The Plucky Squire, and Stellar Blade.
Projected fantasy points are placing Ro to be this year's winner as of right now with 118 points.
No surprise.
We should state that we ended last year with like Dan I think had like 130 something or 140 something, and I was like 9 points behind him.
Right.
Like these things are a little bit off. But
Let's just make sure we have these points right. 196 points Dan had last year. I pulled it up.
that can't be true.
Yeah.
So then I must have been like 180 something then. Yes.
You had 179 and Ro right on your
well,
heels
bullshit.
with 166, and Gage somehow got 14 points.
It's still a very competitive year.
Yeah.
Eternal Rose Software drafted Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, Tekken 8, Helldivers 2, Mina the Hollower, and Alan Wake 2 Night Springs. Close us out, Dan.
Yeah. So, of course, the first pick, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, the game that everyone's fucking waiting for. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door remake, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, and Replaced. And Natalie's saying this fantasy draft is ruining relationships and tearing families apart.
I forgot to say,
This is you only scratch the surface with this podcast, please.
forgot to mention projected points for me are 111, the same as Gage, and then Daniel's is 1 point higher at 112, and Dan's gonna rub that in, I'm sure.
Yeah, but Rose at the top. I gotta catch him.
Rose at the top, yeah. Ramona Flowers.
Ramona Flowers.
We'll see you next week for, of course, fantasy draft check-ins, and then we have game of the year discussion still coming up later this month. I'm not hosting.
Indeed.
Sorry. What, Dan? Please, back to you.
Indeed. It'll be fun stuff. So, is next week our game of the year?
I think you had calendared it as like the 24th or 31st, just to have room for us to catch up on things. But
Please, yes, I
makes
want to try
sense.
and
Yeah.
get through Alan Wake 2.
That's good with me. All right. Buck was free. Yeah, Glenn, we gotcha. All right. Let's close out the show unless you guys have anything else to.
nothing for me.
I need to go to work.
Oh, yes, you do need to go to work. So let's go ahead and close the show. Thank you to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Gage. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
Keep
Bye-bye.
on geeky.
Stay warm.